Hey everybody, we're just going to commentate a bunch of games with my friend Hax here, and he's just going to talk a little bit about the deck first.
Yeah, so it's just the basic Amethyst Steel aggro deck with all the good one drops and then all the draw cards, obviously. You got some two lures on the higher end, like what is it? The Mickey has bodyguard, and then the Beast kind of to finish off in the end game. The idea is to kind of just drop a bunch of units early, play a Hercules if you can, to protect them, and draw a bunch of cards and keep the pressure up while maintaining the board presence.
That's awesome. All right, it's just showing your mulligan right now. If you just want to kind of go through what you're thinking for this
Yeah,
mulligan.
Pascal is obviously super good, one of the best one drops in the game right now. Kristoff, also super good, two lore. I kind of like all of the two lore vanillas. Then a Beast's Mirror, because we're obviously going to need as much draw as possible. Kept the Friends on the other side, just best Amethyst card in the game, I think, is what most of the community would agree with.
I agree.
So, yeah, turn one here. I can't remember what I inked, but we're definitely going to be. What do I play here? Have to answer this Maleficent. So goons can challenge and do it and live. So that's why we didn't play Pascal on the first turn here. Maybe we can get a couple of them out next turn. Definitely don't want to let these Maleficents stay around for too long though. Then he has the Fire the Cannons, which is super great. He's maintaining a really aggressive board and also cleaning up and keeping tempo.
Yeah, we can see you're putting Beast into ink. Pascal's going in. Is Fire the Cannons a hard decision on this, or is it pretty much what you have to do?
It's a pretty easy decision, I think. Two Pascals there would just trade with the Maleficents, and that wouldn't be very good. I want to keep both of those around as long as possible, but probably going to have to trade into Maleficent here. I can't let him get 6 lore off of one drop. And then I have the Kristoff, which will trade really well into the Maleficent. So I think that is what we're looking at here. Obviously, I have friends on the other side as well, so we have a lot of draw. So we're looking like we're stabilizing a little bit, depending on what he's got here. I think it's the mirror match. I'm not sure how similar the decks are, but definitely going to be a little bit of a challenge. He had a pretty decent start.
For sure. Well, what's something you're looking for right now to catch up?
Right now, I really need to make it to turn 6, because this 6-drop Mickey, what is this? I don't remember what his subtitle is. But Musketeer, Mickey Musketeer, I think, something like that, is just the best 6 cost in these two colors, in my opinion. 7 health body with 2 lore is just so hard to get through and so good to protect your units on board.
Nice. Is the mirror that's in your hand right now, do you plan on maybe getting that far to using it, or are you contemplating inking it if you have to?
We might be inking it. I can't really remember how this game went, but definitely need to get the Mickey out. That's my number one priority right here. And then Jafar, obviously, just super, super good all around. He should be able to clean up at least 3 things in this matchup.
Nice. Yeah, it looks like I mean you're still trying to develop your board. They have like a pretty good start, and they have cards in hand, so it seems like it's a really close game.
Yeah, definitely really close. The third Maleficent is super good. The stats on the wardrobe are pretty decent also, but Jafar just answers it so effectively. Right now I really need to not miss an ink, and then next turn dropping the bodyguard Mickey is going to be super, super helpful. Not really even a contest there. Have to put the Hercules into ink to get the Mickey on board. The Beast's Mirror at this point is going to be super useful because I have a lot of cheap stuff in the deck, and I should be able to use it almost every turn here.
So
And I think here,
Mhm.
I also decided to quest with this Jafar. Just adding up all of his attack on board, he'd have to use 3 things, or maybe a fire the cannons. I know he's already used 2 of those. Or he might have to have a smash to be able to effectively get through it. And then it seems like Jafar's still pretty safe even after he's able to deal with it.
Nice. So the opponent kind of, I think they skipped one turn of like questing. Do you think that that Jafar just scared them and kind of made them not know what to do?
Yeah, so that's the funny thing about Jafar. He really scares people into not questing, which is one of the best things about him. When you're really afraid to stick to your game plan and just go full aggro because you see Jafar on the board, definitely really good for the player who's has to challenge, who's behind, I guess I'd say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. So it looks like they just full quest. Oh, they were sitting on a smash. So, oh, I noticed that these are it's the French name for the cards. I just noticed.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
I wonder.
Yeah, it's really
interesting.
weird that he didn't smash Mickey here, the bodyguard Mickey, and then
Mhm.
attack in with the hook at least, because it seems like he'd have a lot more value that way. This hook's not the best quester, so it seems like a little bit of a weird turn. And getting 3 damage off on the Jafar, still has to trade both of these into Mickey. So it seems like I'm in a really stable position at this point.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you have the mirror in play. Yeah, they noticed it. It was over. They're not going to be able to catch up on cards or bodies on the board. So, I mean, that's a really good game. Jumping right into the very next one, if you want to go over Mulligan again.
Yeah, so we can see in this game a much better mulligan. We have Maleficent, Pascal, and Hercules, kind of the dream here. Also, going first, it's going to be really, really hard to take tempo away from this curve here.
Yeah, I mean, this is amazing. I love getting Pascal on turn 1, and I love having the baby Maleficent and the Maleficent that draws in your hand. It does seem like a really, really good hand.
Yeah, I think there I played the Maleficent. I should have played Pascal because he would have been safe, probably, unless he has like a fire the cannons. Probably would have been safe to play the Pascal and get 1 extra lore instead of sitting on the Maleficent here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. I think in the end, over turn, like Maleficent getting that 2 lore is like really powerful. So I don't know. It's a pretty tough decision, I think.
Yeah, and
And
then not developing the board, playing develop your brain, definitely putting him really far behind. Since he won't be able to contest this Maleficent here for a quest, and then next turn I've got the Hercules to defend. It's going to be really, really difficult for him to catch up from this point.
yeah, I mean, I feel like missing your 1 drop is really bad, and if you somehow miss a 2 drop, also, it's like basically game over. We see we see develop your brain going into ink and Aurora coming into play. That's a good card, but you already have you're gonna have 4 cards on the table right now.
Yeah, this is 5 lore here defended by Hercules until he's able to remove it, and he's only got 2 damage on board. Definitely going to be very hard to come back from this one.
I always thought in your hand you have my favorite combo, Maleficent on turn 3 and then singing with her on turn 4. But I think Hercules protecting all those babies is a really good combo also.
Yeah, I think he's one of the better cards in aggro, just for that bodyguard effect. Has the Aurora here. That's pretty good. That's definitely not bad.
Yeah.
But being able to draw here, having friends on the other side to sing next turn, another Hercules, definitely still a very commanding position on the board, in my opinion.
For sure. And then it looks like you're gonna skip inking. I think, or let's see what you do. Actually, I'm not sure. Oh, you threw it in. So tell me about why you threw ink in on that turn.
Yeah. Gonna be drawing 2 cards from the friends on the other side anyway, and we draw every turn. I don't anticipate this game going much longer. I don't think Beast Smear would have gotten any value in this game in particular, because I'm gonna have 4 cards in my hand next turn, and you have to have no cards in hand to activate Beast Smear. So I also really want to be able to play a Beast or a Mickey Musketeer if I draw them as well.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's a good point. It looks like this is the... You started, it's start of turn 5 for the opponent. You're already at 12 lore. You have, what, 4 on the board. It seems like it's in a pretty bad spot. Yeah, this start of... Oh, and the Fire the Cannons. That's a
Finish
huge
that off.
top deck.
Oh yeah. So now he's not going to be able to deal with the Hercules with his board. And gonna get another 3-4 lore minimum each turn.
Yeah, a 15 lore to 0 lore. They ramped into nothing. It looks like, I mean, this is just the perfect hand and like perfect play. It looks really dominating. Nice,
Yeah, I think
GG.
the issue with that game was it seemed like his start was pretty weak against aggro there, not getting some 1s and 2 drops that he needed.
For sure. Mulligan on this. So you're throwing the Mickey away and the Fire the Cannons. What about... I think a lot of people, I watch a lot of games hold one Fire the Cannons. Tell me about your thought on that one.
It is really good. One of the reasons why I didn't keep Fire the Cannons here is because we already have Hook. Obviously, that could get dealt with by a Fire the Cannons. I also don't know if he's playing aggro or control, so I wanted to search for some more good cheap stuff here, like the Maleficent and the Pascal, and possibly a Hercules as well. Did end up drawing into the Maleficent and the Pascal, which is a pretty good start here.
So they're going first, putting a Flounder in play. That's awesome. They hit their 1 drop. So we know it's blue. What usually is going with blue?
I think most people right now are running the Sapphire Ruby deck. Some variant of that, because it just won French tournament. So I'm expecting some Ruby cards here as well, maybe a Donald Duck.
Nice, nice. So their opponent's turn, or sometimes they're inking the Mickey. You're expecting a Donald on this, but it looks like another Flounder.
Yeah, playing a Flounder and then passes there, leaving 1 lore open. He must not have had a 2-drop. 2-drops are 2-drop 2-3 definitely would have been the best choice there.
Sure.
So end up throwing away the Captain Hook since he's not playing any good 2-drops here that I'm gonna have to contest and just going full aggro. This is kind of a bad hand here though. 2 friends on the other side. It is a really good card, but playing it and paying the full cost on 3 definitely isn't the best use of it. It'd be much better to sing it on turn 4 when you have a 3-drop on board already. And then 2 of the 6-drop Mickey Mouse and a 5-drop Beast. Definitely really slow.
So I like this. For me, I always want to make the opponent do the trading. If I don't have any good trades, I'm just gonna quest, make them take the equal trades, right? So looks like that's what you did in this case. He put a Donald into ink so he could ramp. What do you... I don't know about that play. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's just kind of what you have to do when you have this Mickey Mouse. If it's in your deck, since it's unequable, it means you are definitely playing it. It seems like questing last turn for me was probably a bad play. I should have waited until I had either a Jafar or a bodyguard out to kind of protect stuff. I forgot that he was going to be able to take out the Pascal since he would have been able to clear out the other 2 first. So definitely a little bit concerning. Dragon firing a Jafar definitely doesn't feel good.
Oh yeah, that hurts. That's a pretty good trade. 5 cost to get rid of a 4 cost that was going to do a lot of cleaning up. That's a good play for the opponent.
Yeah, so here I think we end up playing the Beast. Need to get some good lore on the board. It can clean up everything on board nicely if he doesn't have some removal for it. Definitely a little bit worried. A second fire or dragon fire feels really bad.
That's awesome. 2 of those in a row. So what's your thoughts right now? It's getting a little scary.
I kind of think kind of think I'm gonna lose at this point. I need to get this Mickey Mouse out. I need it to clean up some stuff. Not feeling as confident anymore as I was at the beginning of the game. I maybe made a misplay on a quest a couple of turns ago,
Mhm.
but hoping this Mickey Mouse will clean some stuff up, but he has let it go.
Yo, 3
Getting a
removal
lot
in a
more
row.
worried.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. And he has cards on the board, but he hasn't been able to develop anything for 3 turns. It looks bad, but I mean, you've been hitting some big drops also, so that's good.
Yeah, I've had a lot of my 4 and 5 and 6 drops this game, which isn't really what I want early, but
Hmm.
right here is where it's going to make a big difference. He's used a lot of removal, so hopefully this Jafar and then the next turn Beast will be able to stick around, clean everything up, and get me some lore and hopefully get me back in the game.
Hmm. Yeah, near
15 to
the
5 seems pretty unwinnable, but I really need to develop a strong board and get some good lore drops on the field here.
hmm
Have to use Fire the Cannons. Really didn't want to do it, but it's going to be so difficult to win if I let him get any more lore. Just trying to stop the bleeding as much as I possibly can here.
So right now, does he have 3 on the board? So if he can somehow get to 17 and keep 3 on the board, he'll have the
It is
win.
2 here.
Oh, it's
So
2.
these
Okay.
each quest for 1. Has lethal on the board. Doesn't have an 8 drop or a card to play here, which I think really helped a lot.
So he had a
Friends on the other
Maleficent
side.
in hand that he had to ink, so he probably doesn't have an 8 drop, otherwise he would have played it, so...
It's
Seems
gotta
like-
be a Maleficent in hand if he's inking a Maleficent and going to 8 to
Yeah.
not play. Then we'll see here if it really is the Maleficent Scar into ink.
Yep. Looks like he's putting that 9 up. It's gotta be Maleficent in hand. I mean, that's cool. I don't think I've ever seen her get dropped in a 1v1 game, actually, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
She
getting
quests
to
for
9 lore.
2. So he's one away right now. You're at 7, but you're gonna have a really big turn here.
Yeah, the board definitely really strong here. Going to 13 lore here. So at this point, it doesn't really matter what he draws here. He'll only be able to get to 19 lore, and at most he'll be able to clean 2 things up,
Mhm.
which would still leave me at enough to be able to finish him off.
Nice. So
So
his
I think this
Maleficent
game
can
here.
trade. Yeah, and then 2, 4, 5, 6. Yep. Oh,
Nothing else you can really do here. That is the game, I believe.
yeah, looks like it. GG. That Mickey a little earlier could have helped him, because he was only 3 away.
Oh
but
yeah.
I mean, that was a crazy game. Coming back from being so far behind, so few cards. If you could say, what's like one of the biggest things that helped you come back? What was the?
I definitely drew really well. I had several friends on the other side, and then I drew at least a few 2 lore drops in there. I think that kind of made all the difference in that game. It's just kind of drawing well. We both drew pretty well, I guess. He had a lot of removal for
Yeah, that's
my
true.
big stuff, so.
All right, so we got the mulligan. This looks like another really good hand. I love seeing the Maleficent and friends on the other side. And then, did you hold that Mickey?
I think I did hold the Mickey,
Mhm.
or did I mulligan to get it? I actually missed that. I can't remember now.
Yeah, I think you. Yeah.
I
Would
would
you hold
probably
it
be-
normally?
I would probably be fine holding it. I really want to get to 6 and then play it while managing tempo, just
Mhm.
because it's so strong. I think it's one of the strongest 6 drops in the game right now.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of cheap stuff in here, so I think it's kind of safe to hold on to for a few turns.
Yeah, and you know the opponent's playing purple steel right now, because we've seen both those cards. The let's see what you ink here. The brooms, I feel like I almost never pay the full cost for it or play it at all.
Yeah, it's pretty good to cycle back a friends on the other side or something back into your deck, because it does have that ability as well.
Mhm.
But it's usually best played with the Sorcerer Mickey that can bounce it back to hand.
Nice.
This is a pretty good turn here. He's able to remove the Maleficent, but then my goons will trade nicely into the Olaf, and they'll also be able to clean up the Captain Hook while keeping Pascal evasive. But he does have the Fire the Cannons.
Yeah, Fire the Cannons is good. Was this a hard ink choice to drop this 3 over Mickey, or what were you thinking there?
Here, they were both 3 drops, so that both of them would have been able to sing Friends on the Other Side. I really wanted the extra card in hand because I'm going to need to get to 6 ink, and I really don't want to ink Friends on the Other Side.
Yeah.
So I kind of chose the card draw over the 2 lore right there.
Yeah, it looks like the opponents, I mean, you're ahead in lore, which is really important, but it looks like they have 1 extra card and 1 extra body on the board. And then they pass. Would you have passed in that position? Or they could have quested for 2, hypothetically.
Probably would have been a good choice to quest with Olaf, maybe. I'm not actually sure, because Maleficent just deals so well with everything.
Sure.
You definitely couldn't really quest with the Captain Hook there, just because you need to keep it and get value out of it instead of just letting it die to the Maleficent here.
Yeah. That turn 4 singing with Maleficent for free, getting 2 cards, and being able to drop Jafar into play, I think really just brought you, in the lead, actually. Your bodies on the board are really good, and the cards in your hand are really good, too.
Yeah, I definitely love seeing all of this. I think that having just a couple of these, like Jafar and the bodyguards in an aggro deck, might seem a little counterintuitive, but you really want to have tools to keep the tempo on your side when you're trying to rush.
For sure. Looks like they played another Fire the Cannons. I think that's the second Fire the Cannons they've played. And then it looks like they're kind of in a good position to... They did some questing. They have things on the board. So what's your thought here?
Here, just kind of waiting to play the Mickey Mouse. It's going to be a good enough bodyguard. I don't really need Hercules. I'd rather have the 2 lore on the Kristoff here. Next turn, I'm definitely going to be able to play the Mickey Mouse. And Jafar's just such a big body. Even him trading the Captain Hook here will still require another card to challenge into it. The Wardrobe would definitely be a good choice there, putting the Wardrobe down to 2 health. Getting back that Fire the Cannons is definitely going to be really helpful in having him deal with that Jafar as well.
Yeah, for sure.
That
That
does so much work here that it's probably fine.
So he's up a couple bodies on the board, but you have card advantage now. What are you hoping to draw? What do you something to ink, or what are you thinking?
Fire the Cannons is alright. It doesn't really matter. I was probably looking for something with 2 lore on it, or maybe another Friends on the Other Side. Here, easy choice on the Mickey. And then just getting the... Do I trade here? I don't think I would. I don't trade here. I'm trying to decide if I want to quest with the Kristoff. Definitely need to calculate how much damage he has on the board to see if he'll be able to deal with Mickey and Kristoff, which he would be able to. So end up not exerting the Kristoff.
And that was based off of damage on the board, because you didn't want him to get through Mickey and get through your Kristoff to leave your Pascal open, or...
Right, yes. Because Kristoff would have died to... would have easily died to either of his things on the board, and he did have a Fire the Cannons in hand, which we already knew from last turn.
So it's going on, I think, turn 7. He put him left, so he's out of cards. You have 1 card in hand, but he still has 2 bodies on the board. Pretty strong bodies. I mean,
Friends on the Other Side.
Great draw.
There.
That's exactly what you needed. That can catch you up. So you have 3 ink to play with, and you have kind of two routes. What are you thinking here?
definitely easily can quest with Pascal. Can't remember. I still think that it's a little early to start questing with the Kristoff. I
Mm-hmm.
definitely want to deal with that Maleficent and get good value for my
Mm-hmm.
Kristoff. I have Fire the Cannons, I think goes into the big Captain Hook here. Actually, I chose to play the Kristoff. Didn't
Kristoff and then
remember that.
hold. So you're feeling like you're probably in a good position because that's Kristoff's both are questing for 2, which is his whole board worth of lore, if I calculate right.
Yeah.
So in a race, right now you're tied at this point.
Yeah, right now I really need to keep the Kristoffs up so they can trade into his smaller cards here.
Mm-hmm.
I really need them to get value off the killing Prince Eric, Maleficent, and the baby Captain Hook. And if I can get a few good trades on those, all one attack, so very efficient for Kristoff to swing into them, then I think I can bring tempo back, especially with the Beast Smear out.
For sure. So these you're kind of deciding between. It looks like I feel like it's the hook or the wardrobe.
Yeah.
And there's almost no difference, right, between hook and the wardrobe. They have the same stats, and there's not really cards they can recycle them. So that seems like the same play I would have done. There's only one trade on the board, right? So you're going to force the opponent to make the trades.
Yeah, force them to attack into the Kristoff. Still looking to get more value out of at least one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Has a real nice trade with Captain Hook there, though, but I am picking up a lot more lore now, and I have the Beast's Mirror, so stopping him from questing with Maleficent and Prince Eric is super, super good here. Just that threat of having Kristoff on the board is super good. And then I drew into another Friends on the other side.
That's amazing.
Just trying to decide whether to sing it now with Kristoff, or if I need to keep Kristoff up to deal with his smaller units and stop him from questing.
Mm-hmm.
That's
think
the best choice right here, I think, is to just keep the Kristoff up, because you really have to prevent these smaller units from being able to quest. But I chose to go ahead and quest there for the extra lore. Just need to get 7 more. And Yzma and Maleficent still doing a little bit of work here. Yzma can stop his Maleficent from questing.
Mm-hmm.
I really just kind of want to seal the game out here.
Yeah, I think in that play where you didn't sing with Friends on the other side, if people are wondering, one of the big things was you only had 1 more ink left. So drawing into 2 cards with 1 ink isn't going to make a big deal because you probably can't play those. So that extra 2 lore was actually, I think, really impactful for the game, because you're at 17 now.
Now we're in a position where if he can't deal with what I have up, then he has no way to win.
GG. So that was 4 games right in a row that you won. Let me check. There might be another one. We'll keep going. I think we have till the end on this.
I think this is the last full game that we got in.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I mean, same. This looks like a really good hand. Mirror, probably don't need it. You have plenty of card draw. So is that the only one you're thinking about throwing away, or?
Yeah. Definitely I'm not going to be playing Beast Smear and giving up tempo this early in the game, so cycling that back. Everything else looks pretty good. Want to have some 1-drops. I have the Baby Hook to kind of help manage tempo here, so it seems pretty good.
So it looks like another mirror match. Everyone's playing playing a version of this.
Yeah, it's definitely a really, really strong couple of inks right now. And obviously playing the goons, you need to contest the Maleficent with a 2/2, or anything with 2 health, really.
Mm-hmm. They inked a Maleficent that draws. I feel like that's going to come back and bite them in the butt, because...
Yeah, you definitely need your card draw if you're playing aggro, because you're playing so many cards and putting ink in every turn. So it's at least probably 3 cards in the mid game every turn that you're playing, so you're really going to need that card draw.
Mm-hmm. So you quested with the goons. I think a lot of people might not, because they're scared about Prince Eric taking it out and getting like a value trade, but can you kind of explain why it's okay?
Yeah, I have the Captain Hook here who trades into the Prince Eric and lives. He also trades into the Maleficent and lives. The only the only thing that I was really hoping for with that Goons was to contest his board.
Hmm.
He did have the smash, but I feel like that's a really slow play. Using 3 ink and not developing his board just to get the the baby hook into play seems pretty bad.
For
And I
sure.
think I actually did disconnect this game here.
Okay. Yeah, we can call it there. That was, I think, going to be an interesting game, but just your hand with how much draw you had, I feel like you're gonna burn them out pretty quick. Yeah, if I remember, I think this one did just like disconnect. Um, yeah, I mean, thanks for commentating on these. I really love watching games, and I like hearing what the players are thinking as they're playing the deck. And I mean, it's really good. Is there anything you would change to it, or do you feel like that it's a pretty strong deck right now?
Um, yeah, I kind of built it really quick. I'm not really sure what I would change in the deck. I definitely really like the Jafar and the Beast. I'm not sure if there's better 2 lore drops in those 2 colors. I don't think there's a lot of 2 lore available to Amethyst and Steel
Mhm.
right now. So I might not change much, actually. And I definitely would keep in all the card draw. Even the mirror, even though you have the Maleficent and the Friends on the other side, I think the mirror is still a super strong card in any aggro deck, really.
Yeah, I like the mirror quite a bit. It gets good play, and if you're dropping one drops, you can afford to draw off of it. So yeah, I like that one. We could go ahead and I'll just cut it here, and we'll hopefully get more games to show everyone.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks.
Thank you.